Pastor Roy Gearhart from Galloway United Methodist Church in Franklin, Pennsylvania, sharing a few words of encouragement to help us follow after Jesus. I'm loving the story of Isaac, who's becoming now the primary character in this story of God's grace unfolding in the book of Genesis. And in Genesis 24, we find a very pivotal moment in Isaac's life unfolding. And so much of it is out of Isaac's hands. It's in his father's hands. It's then passed into his father's servant's hands. And ultimately, though, it is clearly all in God's hands. It's tough sometimes for any of us to really trust anyone else with important decisions in our lives. And it's often difficult for us to trust God, even when it comes to even small decisions. Sometimes the Holy Spirit will prompt you to go over and say something to a person, or maybe someone comes to mind and you think, I ought to call them. And it just feels like a God moment. And then we'll debate it, we'll consider it, and we'll pass over it. It's sometimes so sad and disappointing when we realize the moments that we have debated with God and failed to really trust God. And we realize it because in those moments that are like the moments that we skipped over, when we do obey and you walk across the room and talk to someone at the prompting of the Holy Spirit, or pick up the phone and call them, or you take time to take action that God has laid on your heart to do, and you see the fruit of that and the benefit of following God, you know that you missed something, that you left something undone that should have been done. Well, Isaac has his wife chosen for him by no effort of his own. It's in his father's hands to set him up for marriage. And his father sent his most trusted, most valued servant, his top man, out on this task, and gave him instructions. But it was otherwise now in the servant's hands to do the job. What a great deal of trust that gets invested in this whole process of uncovering Isaac's wife. Well, the servant, realizing this is such a great task, and by the way, we don't even get to know this man's name. Earlier on, there was a man named as a top figure in Abraham's household as a servant, but this time, we don't even know if it's that man or another man at this point. But yet he has this great task. And he realizes what a great task it is, and he put it in God's hands. Whenever he got to the location that he was seeking, he stopped and prayed and said, God, please help me to find the right woman. And he asked God to, in fact, give him a sign, to set up a set of circumstances that he would be able to know without any doubt that this, in fact, is the woman that God was choosing. And God fitted it all together perfectly. And ultimately, when he came home with Rebekah to Isaac, Isaac was blessed. He was blessed with a wife whom he could love and who was a great comfort to him. This was all working out beautifully, and I've always been touched by this story, and the very human quality of sharing the way in which Isaac loved Rebekah and how it comforted him, how deeply he was affected by now this relationship with his wife and how much she meant to him. This was all in the hands of God, remember? This amazing decision, who would he marry? I mean, what American wants to trust anybody else to make that choice for them? We hold on to those choices jealously and push other people away, maybe not even asking for advice or being willing to violate even good sense. But here Isaac trusted God. His father trusted God. The servant trusted God, and God came through. You and I need to take a lesson today in trusting God, to let God come through and prove that whether the decision is big or small, that putting your life in God's hands and allowing Him to lead you in the decisions is never going to lead you wrong. You're always going to find the best and be blessed. So may God bless you today. And as you share this good news, may God make you a blessing wherever He takes you.